Hey everyone, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to Lights and Buttons. Today, we're gonna be talking about replacing the DRLs or the daytime running lights of this car behind me, going from that ugly yellow factory incandescent bulb to a nice white LED. We're gonna talk about what to look for as well as what to avoid in this video. This is gonna be a two-part episode where first we're gonna talk about how to buy the bulb, and then in a separate episode, we're gonna talk about how to actually get to the bulb physically and replace it. So stay tuned. We're gonna talk about all things LEDs here on Lights and Buttons. So let's get started. If you have an older Acura or Honda, they don't typically look too bad, but the factory incandescent bulbs can really make them look dated. Replacing them with LEDs are not too hard on my 2013 Acura TL. The 2013 TLs are part of the 4th generation TLs that span over the model years 2009 through 2014. So, if you have one of those cars, the steps should be pretty similar, if not the same. First, I look for the correct bulb size to match up. You want to look for 9005 or HB3. I've seen both of these sizes, and according to a quick Google search, they mean the same thing. It just depends on where you live. Next, I look for a cooler color temperature so that it's more on the white side than yellow. I didn't have a strong preference, but something around the 5000K to 6500K would do. To avoid the car throwing an error message with the DRL, I look for the error-free feature in the product description. I was also looking for LEDs that are close to the center. I don't know if this will impact the beam pattern, but in some products they're talking about how the LEDs being closer to the center would yield a better beam pattern. I had the Star Nail LED bulbs in my car for about 9.5 years, and the fan is starting to make some weird noises, so I'm proactively replacing these to avoid the bulb burning out. And then last, and probably the most difficult part, is looking for a bulb that is DRL compatible. Recently, I had accidentally bought bulbs that are only for high beams, and it flickers when you're using them in the low voltage mode. This is an example where the bulb is not compatible to be used as a DRL. When you look at the beam of light, you can see a flicker from the low voltage setting. To be fair, this bulb was not listed as a DRL. This is my bad since I bought the wrong bulb, but you can learn from my mistake. I ended up getting these torch beam LEDs, and while this is not a review since I literally just got the bulb, I might post an update in a few months or so. To compare the factory bulb versus my old LEDs versus the new ones, I put together a side-by-side comparison. For consistency, in each shot, I kept the camera settings the same. Also, I parked the car in the same position, which is 18 feet from the garage doors. As you can see, each of the bulbs perform differently, but between the LEDs, they're actually pretty similar, even though the bulb sizes are slightly different in terms of the width. And to be honest, I'm upgrading these bulbs for aesthetic reasons, and if I'm using the high beams, I'm not really using them for an empty stretch of road in the middle of nowhere. A lot of times I'm driving in populated areas, and I'm using them to communicate with other drivers, such as letting them in front of me. That's it for this video. If you're interested in the actual steps for installing the LEDs, I have that in part 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next video.